In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most common pets on the planet, the goldfish. But what if I told you that this little fish in a bowl has a secret life? A life where it can grow to the size of a football, travel the world as an invasive species, and remember things for months? Yeah, let's dive in. We see them in tiny bowls at home, we win them at fairs, and we usually think of them as just simple, maybe even boring, short lived pets. But that couldn't be farther from the truth. The goldfish you've been to know is hiding some seriously surprising secrets and a wild history that most people have no idea. So, to really understand these little guys, we have to go back to the very beginning. Let's get properly introduced to the goldfish and find out where it actually comes from. That's right, the goldfish, or Cariceus alatus if you want to get scientific, isn't some unique fish that just appeared in pet stores. Nope, it's actually a domesticated member of the carp family. They were first bred from wild carp in East Asia more than 1,000 years ago, originally as these super prized pets for the imperial families in China. Now, this is where it gets kinda crazy. Look at this size difference. The tiny goldfish we see in an aquarium usually stays around 5 centimeters. But if that same fish is released into the wild, it can grow up to 38 centimeters long. We're talking about the size of a football. It completely busts that myth that they grow to the size of their container. A small tank actually just stunts their growth, which is really unhealthy for them. And this incredible ability to adapt and just get huge is exactly what allowed the goldfish to go from being a prized pet in ancient China to a full blown global traveler, and, in a lot of places, a pretty unwelcome guest. So, while they're originally from East Asia, goldfish have been introduced pretty much everywhere. When people release their unwanted pet fish into local ponds or lakes, these hardy fish don't just survive, they absolutely thrive. They've now established invasive populations on almost every single continent, and they can cause real damage to local ecosystems by eating native fish eggs and stirring up the bottom of lakes, which hurts the plants. So, what does life actually look like for a goldfish? In their own little community, whether it's a big pond or a huge tank. Let's take a closer look at their family life, what they eat, and their surprisingly social world. Goldfish don't get pregnant in the way we think of it. They reproduce through this process called spawning. It all starts with a chase, where a male pursues a female. He'll then nudge her belly to encourage her to release her eggs, which are super sticky. As soon as she does, he releases his nelt to fertilize them right there in the water. And just check out this number. A single female can lay up to 1,000 eggs at a time. It's incredible. Of course, most of these won't make it to adulthood. A lot get eaten, sometimes even by their own parents, or they just don't get fertilized in the first place. So, what's on the menu? Well, goldfish are omnivores, which means they eat pretty much anything, both plants and animals. Out in the wild, their diet is super varied. They'll be snacking on algae and plants, but they'll also hunt for insects, little shrimp, and even the eggs and babies of other fish. And what about their society? Goldfish are definitely social animals. They prefer to live in groups, which we call schools. But it's not like a strict hierarchy. You might see the bigger fish get to the food first, but there's no single chief or leader that everyone follows. They just seem to enjoy the company. Now, life out in a pond isn't all just peaceful swimming and snacking. Goldfish have to deal with the world of predators, and even in a home aquarium, they have some preferences for who they'll share their space with. Being light orange makes you a pretty easy target, right? In the wild, they are on the menu for all sorts of animals. You've got birds like herons and kingfishers that can just cluck them out of the water, cats and raccoons will try their luck, and bigger fish like trout or pike absolutely see them as a tasty meal. Even tiny dragonfly larvae can be a threat to the really young goldfish. Okay, so what about friends? Well, in a big enough tank, goldfish can totally live peacefully with other calm, cold water fish. The main thing is that their tank mates can't be aggressive or so fast that the goldfish can't get any food, especially those fancier, slow swimming types. Alright, now for my favorite part. We're about to bust some of the biggest myths and drop some truly amazing facts about these fish that will probably change the way you see them forever. Let's start with the biggest one of all. The myth everybody has heard. Goldfish have a memory that only lasts for 3 seconds, right? They forget everything the moment they swim across the bowl. Nope, not even close. It's totally false. Scientific studies had actually shown that goldfish can remember things for at least 3 months. They could be trained to go through mazes, tell the difference between shapes and colors, and even learn to come for food when they hear a specific sound. And what about how long they live? Most people think if a goldfish lasts a year or two, that's pretty good. but with proper care and a big tank, they can easily live for 5 to 10 years. In the wild, that jumps to 20 or even 30 years. And the world record holder, get this, an unbelievable 43 years old. Here are 3 more awesome facts for you, real quick. 1. Goldfish have teeth, but they're in their throats and they use them to crush food. 2. They're smart enough to be trained to do tricks, like pushing a tiny soccer ball or pulling a lever for food. And 3. That classic bright orange color, totally man-made. Wild goldfish are actually a dull olive green color, so they can hide from all those predators. So, after all that, are you looking at goldfish a little differently now? From their crazy intelligence to their incredible size and lifespan, it's pretty clear they are so much more than just a simple little pet. Alright, that is it this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.